Hi everyone, welcome back to the Raven Master Thief. Here we are with our detective trying to solve the mystery of who the Raven is. So the first jewel was stolen on the Orient Express in the previous episode, or the previous chapter. And now we're making our way to Cairo aboard the Lydia. The steamship Lydia, as you can see, we're standing on the map. Her captain's an old seaman during the war, and he got decorated as well, so he was well renowned. We also had the Baroness, who was murdered because she was carrying one of the keys. Well, the murderer believed she was carrying one of the keys which allows you into the lockbox to get the second jewel. So we're going to try and solve the mystery of the Baroness's death now. So we just had previously we just spoke to Legrand about the murder weapon, which is the Parabellum Luger. We found the bullet. So now I think we're going to go back and check the Baroness's cabin if we can. I can't actually remember where it is. Let's have a look. Is it this way? I can't recall. Let's go in there. We'll go through the back way and work our way around. I've probably just gone the long way around here, but it's okay. Just reacquaint ourselves with the ship. Here's the captain. Let's have a chat with old Captain DeConti.
Captain DeConti is sitting at the bar again. He gave me the glass of champagne last night.
Yeah, he did.
Hello, Captain DeConti.
Is he up for a chat?
Hey, Constable Zellner. You're back on your feet again. Glad to see it.
Did you poison me last night? Right, the events of last night.
What was your experience of last night?
Oh, terrible. Dinner was fantastic. Everyone was excited about having a pleasant drink under
Dinner
the
was
stars.
fantastic.
And then this.
You were in the saloon all night long.
As the captain, I have to care for my passengers. After you and the others rushed out, I tried to maintain a festive atmosphere. But when the alarm goes off, I lose the battle.
Good effort, Captain. Tell me about the Baroness.
How was the Baroness?
She really surprised me. After she was so unapproachable at the reception and didn't show her face for the entire afternoon, I was afraid she was one of the beaux and bourgeoisie. But then she arrived in the early evening in the best of moods. Already had a few, if you know what I mean.
Did she say anything to you?
She asked me where Legrand's cabin was. I told her, then invited her to come for drinks in the evening. I said it would be great fun. The whole ship will be there, and you don't want to miss that, I told her.
And then?
She seemed to like the idea. She smiled, and then left again for a few minutes. Then she came back and seemed very happy. We drank a toast to life.
Okay, so that was her probably going to Legrand to give him the key, because I think he's got her key. Tired Baroness?
But at some point she didn't feel well anymore?
She overdid it a bit. She suddenly started to swoon and almost spilled her drink. I asked her if she wanted to rest for a moment in her cabin. At first, she didn't want to. She definitely wanted to stay in the saloon. But then she realized that she really did need to lie down. We left together. You know the rest of the story.
Okay. My champagne that you handed me was poisoned.
Did everyone drink from the same bottle of champagne last night?
There was more than one bottle, if that's what you mean. There were quite a few guests, and the event lasted several hours.
The last bottle of champagne, the one the Baroness drank from, did anyone else drink from it?
Certainly.
We have reason to believe that the champagne was drugged.
Incredible. But wouldn't that have
Perfect
made
time of the
everyone
coconut drums.
drowsy?
Not if it was only the Baroness's glass that was drugged.
I see. That's possible. On a night like that, many glasses are filled and emptied. There are several stewards, many guests. No one keeps track of every glass and every bottle.
A few drops in a glass?
Yes, it's certainly possible.
The glass you handed me last night, where did you get it?
Ah, I understand. You think your glass was poisoned as well?
Did you pour it yourself?
No. I saw that you weren't doing so well and wanted to rescue the situation. I took the first available glass and I give it to you.
Was it on the table?
No, I hurry over to you, together with Dr. Gebhardt, who... Of course, he had the glass in his hand. He was looking around for a place to set it down, so that he could examine you. I took it from him.
And gave it to me?
I'd like to apologize for that, but you look so worse for the wear, and I just wanted to comfort you. I didn't think of looking for a new glass for you.
So the doctor had the drugged glass in his hand.
So, was that because he was about to try and poison someone, or someone was trying to poison him? This music.
Is it possible to find out where the alarm was set off?
I'm afraid not. There are alarms all over the ship.
I saw that they're sealed. Can't we just check whether the seal is broken?
I'm afraid they're gonna be missing on a lot of alarms. You know, this is an old ship, and over the years...
So, you're saying that the alarms haven't been regularly maintained?
I'll inform the crew immediately, of course.
Of course.
What can you tell me about the passengers?
What can you tell me about the passengers?
Oh, not that much, I'm afraid. I wanted to get to know them properly at the reception. In most cases, I just shook hands with them as they boarded the ship. There are a few regulars on board, and after dinner, I had a conversation with Mr. Kreutzer, a talented violinist, and Lady Westmacott. But you already know them from the train.
Oh, yes.
It seems like there aren't that many passengers on board.
These bloody airplanes are making our lives miserable. Can you imagine? Grown men prefer to jam themselves into a narrow metal coffins instead of enjoying the fresh sea air on a ship.
It's all about saving time.
It shouldn't be about how much time it takes to get from A to B, but about how you spend that time. What you experience on the journey. That's what it's about.
I'll get back to my investigations now.
Ciao, Constable.
Ciao, Captain. Right, okay. Well, we got a little bit more information. That wasn't exactly what we're going for, but... Oh, okay. So we are back to where we started. So... Can we go out there? No. Or can we? No. Swing your arms. Ah, this is her cabin.
This is the first murder scene I've ever set foot in.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, there's a little drop of blood on the bed. Let's just try and have a look around. We've got the glass of champagne here. We've got an alarm up there. That's nothing. Got her travel cases there. It looks like a notepad there. A bin. We've got the mannequin. An hourglass. Examine a painting. The bed. We've got a blood stain. We've got cupboards. We've got a book here. Another cupboard. Examine the bed. Right. Let's start with the
It must be one of the alarms. It was tripped at some point. The seal is broken. But there's no way of telling whether it happened yesterday or 5 years ago.
So look at the travel case.
The most unportable portmanteau I've ever seen.
Okay. Just for the comment. Is that all? Oh, we can open it. Okay.
A portable bar is more like it. Must be hard work transporting this big, heavy thing halfway around the globe. And the Baroness was lucky that the other freight cars were only lightly damaged by the explosion.
Okay, so she's basically got a gin bar in there, has she? Let's have a look at this correspondence, or whatever it is, this note.
The notepad has the ship's emblem on it. I suppose all the first-class cabins have them.
Right, let's get on. Inspector. I knew you'd be using childlike methods to investigate my death. Right. Be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board, and I will expose him. Okay.
It says, Inspector, be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board and I will expose him. B. The Baroness seems to have known the murderer, and that means that the Raven can't be the murderer. He never killed anybody. Legrand probably never got the message, otherwise he'd have said something.
Or would he? Probably he would, to be fair.
The mannequin surely came with the cabin. A mannequin for the Baroness's clothes would have a more generous figure.
That's true. That's a good observation. Right. Let's have a look at this picture.
Sunflowers. By Van Gogh, I presume. He liked to paint that sort of thing. Can't be an original. They cost thousands of francs.
And the rest. And the rest.
A big, ugly, and impractical vase. If it had a wider opening, one could at least use it as an umbrella stand.
True. Oh, we've picked up that note. Maybe take that to Legrand.
A tape recorder. Must go with the built-in speakers. Probably part of the cabin's furnishings.
I wonder if she had a conversation when she recorded it.
The tape recorder is older than the hills, but it was once very expensive. Top of the range. And it doesn't come cheap. Strange. There's only one reel. And it's the wrong one. No. No sign of the original reel. A reel made by Zeibling. I know the brand. Zeibling's tapes can be overwritten many times without losing quality. They're used in offices so that executives can record messages for the secretaries on the same tape over and over again. But they're not good for much else. They're robust, but they don't offer much in terms of sound quality.
Right. Take the audio tape. Can we put it on the player? Oh, no, okay. Apparently we can't. Obviously, I reckon she's probably recorded in the classic, you know, confession by somebody that they're the murderer. Oh, hello.
The portholes face the side deck. If someone climbed out of the cabin through a porthole, Legrand and I would have seen them.
That's true.
The portholes are locked. One cannot open or close them from outside. It's the same problem as with the door. If someone left the cabin through the porthole, how did they lock it? And the Baroness wasn't shot from outside. The doctor said she was shot at close range.
Well, if she was leaning against it, I suppose. Don't know.
Apparently, the Baroness didn't have time to unpack her bags. Or rather, didn't have time to tell her butler to unpack them for her.
No. Do we look at her purse?
Sifting through all that would take ages. But here, the Baroness's handbag. Ha-ha.
Ooh, a diary, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, were you going to say something?
Let's see. Yes, it's a diary, all right. Difficult to read. No entry from yesterday. A brief, sober description of what she's done recently. Met Morris, arranged benefit concert for renovation of Louvre southeastern wing, Times photo shoot for Eye of Sphinx. BM, poor excuse for photographer. Too fidgety.
BM. Who's BM?
And so on. This entry looks strange. The handwriting is shaky, difficult to read. Dreamt of Bubby. Yesterday would have been his birthday. Next week, Jay's.
What is she referring to? Obviously.
Cosmetics, a handkerchief, a spectacles case. Nothing special.
Okay.
The Baroness was a very busy woman, and it looks like she had to cope with the loss. She writes about Bubby and Jay. Neither seem to be alive anymore. Almost every family lost loved ones in the war. Maybe hers as well.
Possibly. What is that? Try not to...
Something's under there.
Do you want to interrupt the conversation too much?
Down feathers. Maybe from a quilt or a pillow. Nothing special. Although, it seems like one of the feathers was scorched at the top. Literally burnt.
So he fired his gun.
I'll take it with me.
He fired his gun through a pillow, did he? Let's have a look at these pillows then.
There's still blood on the mattress. The sheet and the blanket have already been removed. To analyze them, I suppose.
Come on, Zellner. Use the grey cells.
Nothing.
Oh.
The blood spot is the only sign that someone committed a crime in here. Somehow... That's odd. The blood is so... red. Shouldn't it gradually darken in the air? Turn brown?
Ooh, she's alive!
The unusual color of the blood could be something that Legrand and Dr. Gebhardt missed last night. All cats are gray in the dark, as the saying goes. I should take a sample.
Are they grey in the dark, or are they black in the dark? I don't know. We'll go with it, that's fine. Take a sample, okay?
The unusual color of the blood could be something that Legrand and Dr. Gebhardt missed last night. All cats are gray in the dark, as the saying goes. I should take a sample.
How? How are we going to take a sample of that blood? With a note? Glass?
The unusual... All cats are...
How do we take a
The
sample?
unusual... All cats are gray in the dark.
Yeah, okay. Down feathers? Can we put that on there? No. What have we got? What have we got? Is there anything we can use to get... Take the diary.
I'll leave it there.
Oh.
I don't have time to read all of it.
Okay, well, I'm not seeing anything obvious. Let's examine the lock and
The door
chain.
frame was damaged when Dr. Gebhardt kicked it in. The real question is, why was the door locked in the first place? Assuming the murderer isn't a magician, and the Baroness locked the door herself before she went to bed, the murderer couldn't have left the cabin through the door. So, the murderer must have still been in here when Dr. Gebhardt kicked the door in. Which is unlikely because someone would have seen him, or he found another way out of the cabin.
Up the chimney? No. The air vent?
There should be a ventilation shaft behind the hatch. Usually a good way to break in and out undetected.
Ah.
But we're on a ship. The ventilation shafts are very small here.
Okay, so it's a very small person.
I can't say why, and it seems impossible, but something tells me that the murderer entered and left the cabin through the door. The only question is how.
Right. What's that? You see that there? I'm not quite sure what that is.
can't see anything.
Oh, hello.
Wow, heavier than it looks. Aha!
More... Ah. Oh wait, have they shoved a the pillow or the duvet? Oh, it's not going to be a duvet, is it? It's going to be a
More
pillow.
feathers, and they're singed as well.
Can we break this open?
I'd better take it with me. Why were the down feathers tossed in the vase?
Well, clearly.
Or is there anything else in there?
Yeah, you're catching up now, my friend.
There may be something else in the vase, but the neck is too narrow to reach in with my hand.
Okay, we need a stick or I don't know, some pair of grips or something. Any tongs by the fire? No. Okay, maybe we need to go and find something we can... Oh, who's this? Oh, this is the butler. Haven't seen him for a while.
The Baroness's butler looks like he didn't get much sleep. I would describe his facial expression as worried.
Unemployed? That's poor. Poor sense of humour. Let's go have a chat with James.
Hello, Mr. Inch.
Oh, Constable, hello.
You look the worse for wear. It must be terrible for you.
Quite terrible. No one will hire me now.
Excuse me?
My mistress was murdered. Would you hire a butler who's been mixed up in a murder?
But if it turns out that you're not guilty...
If. But what if not? Who else would they blame? There are no gardeners on this ship.
I understand your problem. Under these circumstances, I'm sure you'd answer some questions that could help clear your name, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Right, tell us about last night.
Did you notice anything suspicious last night?
No, sir. After the Baroness went to the saloon, I went to the forecastle. I was there until the alarm went off. I went to the side deck and arrived shortly after Professor Lucien and Miss Miller. We found you and Inspector Legrand there. You were unconscious, and the inspector asked us to take care of you.
Did you hear the gunshot?
No, just the alarm, sir.
Okay, tell me about leisure time.
You said you were on the forecastle. It sounded like the Baroness let you have the rest of the night off.
Not entirely, sir. One of the crew informed me that the Baroness wanted to be roused at 10:15.
Right. Why was that?
I suppose that she wanted to toast the success of the journey with the captain and the other passengers.
She hadn't intended to take a nap, then?
That was not her way, sir. She had a lot of spirit, shall we say, when it came to social engagements and a glass or two of champagne.
Ransack the cabin?
The Baroness's cabin seems to have been ransacked.
Indeed, sir, by the Baroness herself.
Really?
She was searching for something the entire afternoon.
And did she find it?
I think she did, sir, yes. She was in high spirits when she finally left her cabin.
You wouldn't happen to know what she was looking for, would you?
I'm afraid not.
Orderly woman.
Would you describe the Baroness as orderly?
Well, she always had a lot of responsibilities, sir.
That doesn't answer my question.
She used to take a lot of luggage on journeys, and I helped her keep track of it as best I could. She was always very angry when she couldn't find something.
What about the photos and the documents I saw in her cabin?
I really don't know. They were out of bounds to me, sir. Memories from the war, I'd say. They meant a lot to her.
Ah, so that's who those two, Jay and Bubby, could be. Baroness's alcohol consumption?
The Baroness seemed to be pretty drunk the last time I saw her.
Is that so?
Does that surprise you? Did the Baroness not drink?
Oh, yes, she drank. It was no secret.
I understand. How serious was her habit?
Serious enough, sir.
Was she under any medical supervision?
Certainly not, sir. She adamantly refused to see a doctor. Like so many elderly women, she had a distinct aversion to hospitals and the like.
Working for the Baroness.
How long had you worked for the Baroness?
6 months, sir.
Only 6 months. I always thought that butlers stayed with their employers for decades.
Those decades have to start at some point, Constable. Her former butler wasn't able to fulfill his duties any longer. Gout, sir.
I understand.
I took on his duties and hoped for a secure position for the next 20 years.
Okay. Stiff arm? Is that of the law or just yourself?
May I ask what happened to your arm?
A souvenir from the war, sir.
Doesn't it hinder your work?
Yes, sir. Obviously.
I didn't mean to offend you.
The Baroness had a soft spot for disabled veterans. I think she'd been through a lot herself.
I think that's all for now.
Please, sir.
I'll explain
Find
more or less.
the murderer.
Yeah.
You have to clear me of all suspicion.
Okay, we're off to see Legrand, weren't we? We needed to go and have a conversation about the note he found.
Come in.
Do we need to check all the alarms? Don't know. Let's have a chat with Legrand, see if we can... No, he's on the wine.
Constable?
Inspector? Tranquilizers.
About the tranquilizer.
Who gave you the glass of champagne?
It was Captain de Conti.
You're sure?
He doesn't deny it, but he also says that the glasses passed through many hands that night and that everyone had access to the champagne.
So it could have been anyone.
Maybe the question isn't who put the poison in the glass, but rather who it was they wanted to poison.
Smart. And who were they trying to poison?
Dr. Gebhardt? The captain got the glass from him.
An unconscious ship's doctor. That sounds like it would be more use to a murderer than a drugged constable.
You think so? Did the murderer have reason to assume that his shot might not kill the victim immediately and that Dr. Gebhardt would be able to save her?
You're right. That's improbable. My ego is just searching for reasons for them to want to kill her, and not me. Good job, Zellner.
The feathers I found in the vase and on the floor.
I found feathers in the Baroness's cabin.
Really?
Some were under the Baroness's bed, others were in a vase next to the door.
I hope this is leading up to some information that justifies this interruption.
Some of the feathers are singed.
Show me. Well, you may have something here.
I think that someone fired a shot through a pillow or something like that, and the muzzle flash scorched the down.
Yes, possible. Try to find the pillow and we'll take it from there.
It's in a vase. We can't get the bloody thing out. Well, we think it's in a vase. There's a blood spot.
I took a closer look at the blood spot from the Baroness's bed.
Yes, what's wrong with it?
It looks odd.
Odd?
I think it should be
Smiley
darker.
face.
I understand. The iron in blood causes it to darken the longer it's exposed to the air.
Right. And
We don't have time to waste. Dr. Gebhardt examined the body thoroughly. He would have noticed if anything was wrong.
you trust Dr. Gebhardt completely.
I trust everyone as much as is advisable. There will be a complete autopsy in Cairo. Until then, the doctor is one of the few people on board who is not a suspect. You, him, the stowaway, Constable Oliver, and I all have alibis.
There are still enough suspects left.
Oh, the note, yes.
I was able to make the traces of a note on the Baroness's notepad legible. She wrote that a murderer is on board and that she'll unmask him. She asks the recipient to meet her in the saloon at 10 p.m. If we can find the recipient.
I was the recipient.
Monsieur?
When I entered my cabin last night, I found a message on the floor. Someone must have slipped it under the door.
Why didn't you say anything about it?
I didn't know that I was obliged to.
We are partners.
Not really. You're helping me out until we reach Cairo, because you somehow managed to remain on board.
But
I'll choose when and with whom I share information. You can accept that and continue assisting me, or you can spend the rest of the journey on a deck chair thinking about missed opportunities.
and none of this is by any chance related to the fact that the message doesn't suit your Raven theory. The Baroness knew the murderer from the past, and he was already a murderer when he boarded the ship. The Raven was always just a thief, not a murderer.
Careful, Constable. Are you accusing me of perverting the facts?
Of course not, monsieur.
Then let's get back to work. Good day, Constable.
I'll
I'm
be
going-
in touch if I uncover more clues.
I'm going
Very
back to the deck chair. Miserable. What a miserable individual. Oh, there's all this good work we're doing. He didn't find any of this stuff.
Neither Dr. Gebhardt nor Constable Oliver can keep up with Legrand's pace, but in contrast to good old Robert, the doctor doesn't let himself get roped in for the long haul. I wonder what would happen if Legrand dragged him out of bed for another investigation.
Yeah, don't stress it. Let's have a look at this alarm.
Another alarm. This one hasn't been set off. The security seal is intact.
Oh, I reckon we've probably got to go and have a look at every alarm, haven't we? Let's go upstairs. There's bound to be one in this hallway somewhere. Or maybe not. Is that? Ooh.
An antique wooden globe.
You sure
If
it's not a
Galileo
bar?
hadn't asserted himself back then, this would be a flat disc now. The globe nicely shows that 4/5 of the Earth's surface is covered by water. Looking out the window, I'd call that an understatement.
Open it up. It's a bar. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it is a globe. Okay. What do we got? What we need something to get the feather out of the pillow. Like it's something. Oh, hello.
Lady Westmacott seems to be an early bird, but maybe that's just because of all the excitement. I saw a twinkle in her eye on the train. She's eager to be part of a real detective story.
Ah. Let's have a chat. White love.
Lady Westmacott, already on your... Oh,
Constable, don't you think before you speak?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No time for chit-chat. What have you found out?
We're still working on the case. Actually, I have a couple of questions for you.
Please, go ahead.
These questions will have to wait for next time. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy it. We'll get on top of this investigation. Figure out who killed the Baroness, where they went. We think we went up for that hatch, didn't we, above the door? But still can't quite put all the pieces together. We need to get that pillow out somehow. But yes, we'll have a chat with Lady Westcott next time. Thanks ever so much. Take care. I'll see you then. Bye bye.